From the market fires to explosions that consumed lives and properties and insurgency attacks to the novel coronavirus and other natural disasters, the insurance industry in Nigeria and elsewhere bears the brunt. Now, after the close of financial books for the previous years, the total amounts paid by insurance companies in settlement of claims can be compared to what other financial services sector players declare as profit, sometimes for a quarter or half year. In Nigeria, according to the National Insurance Commission, the insurance industry settled claims amounted to 330 billion naira in 2019 as compared to 207 billion naira in 2018. Now, the figures for outstanding or unsettled claims remain progressive and indeterminable due to the nature of the business on one hand, and then the insufficient attention paid to issues of claimants by all concerned. Now, probably burdened and overwhelmed by this downside of the business, insurance had preferred over the years to work much more silently. Well, joining me now via Skype to discuss the level of inclusion in the insurance sector, I have the Executive Director of General Insurance Business Division, Leadway Assurance Company Limited, Adetola Adegbayi. Good to have you on the breakfast show today.
Good to be on the program today, this morning. Good morning.
Now let's look at the insurance industry. At this point in time, being a top player with a robust number of years and experience, what's your take on diversity and gender inclusion in the system? Because at the end of the day, you cannot talk about a stronger coverage in terms of the insurance sector without highlighting these nuggets.
Diversity and inclusion in insurance is actually one thing that Nigeria has been quite good at, if I must say. We've been, when you look at diversity from a gender perspective, within the industry, you have a number of women leaders, some of them owning their insurance brokerages. When it comes to inclusion, also, we need to talk about beyond the idea of gender diversity to also saying that how do we include other different people so that everyone begins to find their place and own their space within the insurance industry. So essentially the Dive-In Festival is meant to allow us to talk through that and to talk through the weaknesses within the industry and to then find a way also to get more gender diversity and more overall inclusion. Insurance industry is actually one where all comers are welcome. There isn't really a profession that the insurance industry does not have a place for. So when we look at the overall diversity and inclusion within insurance, it's important that we have a platform to discuss more about that. And the Dive-In Nigeria is one of such ways of doing it.
And Adetola, let's now also talk about the survey which is conducted amongst young female. We've had so many reports, but still focusing on your own assessment now within the young female population in the working space in the insurance industry now, to understand the challenges they face, if any at all, while working in the sector and also learning how they navigate these challenges. At the end of the day, awareness is really key.
Yes, indeed it is. A survey was done by Dive-In, which is also one of the beautiful things that when you have a festival, you also need to see what you can contribute to the society. So Dive-In Nigeria actually carried out a study that shows that 90% of people are actually quite interested in the 90% of females are actually quite interested in the insurance industry. Now, as I mentioned earlier, insurance is actually a multi-professional discipline. So therefore, we're open to all types of interests. As you know, it's all about risk. It's all about ensuring future interests. It's all about selling money. So with that 90% being interested in insurance, how do we then as an industry make our workspaces more comfortable for women that are more challenged, particularly when they're young women who are just raising family. I think within the virtualized society that we're in now, we actually find women also owning their own better, because when you have to work remotely and physically, the idea of needing to take care of family and also needing to attend to work becomes something that is better integrated. So you have a more integrated work-life
balance.
I like to use balance. I actually don't like to use the word balance. You have a better work-life integration. And with that, women can be stronger within the management level. And also women can own their businesses because when you look, not just the insurance industry, when you look at businesses overall, we have less women owners.
Okay.
So as we talk diversity and inclusion within the insurance industry as well, we need to look at it from an ownership perspective.
Exactly.
And with more ownership, there's a better balance within the overall business space.
So far, thank you very much for your time on the Breakfast Show today, and definitely we still have to improve our level of coverage, and this also has to include inclusion, gender balance, and a whole lot more. It's a work in progress. Thank you very much for your time, Adetola Adigbayi.
Also, thank you very much. As you know, we invite women to 24th of to the Diving Festival in Lagos, 24th of September. We look forward to an engaging moment, and I'm actually particularly happy to be part of that. Thank you very much.
Based on your assessment and surveys conducted and other reports you've had so far, how will you term the current coverage we have in Nigeria, talking about the figures?
Insurance penetration has always been something of concern in the sense that as the economy enlarges, we tend to see penetration levels hover around 0.3, 0.4%. The figures you mentioned earlier also shows that when you adjust the naira to the dollar, we seem to be a little bit flat within the insurance industry, but we are also growing in terms of overall Nigerian naira. The penetration, though, is what we really need to focus on, and this is where the Diving Festival also comes in. Because when you look at the statistics, particularly one that was done by Diving as well over the country, you would find that certain parts of the country are not quite as represented as other parts. And in these parts, most of the people who are not well represented are also women. Now, if we're going to increase penetration within the insurance industry, it is important that we also get women involved. In some parts of Asia, women are actually the ones that work as agents because a number of them, particularly in parts of the country where they are more of stay-at-home parents, can actually reach out to the community, educate people as to the importance of insurance in terms of money. Because most of the time when people talk about insurance, they talk about insurance as if it's an esoteric subject matter, whereas it's really about money that you're talking about. So if we can get more women out there preaching, financial security and using insurance as a means of gaining that financial security, we probably will see a higher level of penetration.
Okay.
And that is what we're looking at, and that's what the diving is all about as well.
Adetola, now looking at the vast spectrum we have to cover in terms of health insurance, home insurance, car insurance, travel insurance, and a whole lot more, why now do we have to focus a little bit more on this agenda of diversity and gender inclusion? Why now?
Because essentially, from a gender diversity point of view, it's really important for us to continue to preach the message that women have a central role to play. Women are nature, so, if I must say that. And I'm not saying that men are not nature, but women are nature. They're the foundation and fundamental part of nature in terms of birth and nurturing. So if we're also going to begin to think about insurance from a financial risk management point of view and from giving money back to those who are vulnerable, then women have a very important role to play. Now, the talk about inclusion is also to say that the insurance profession is one that any subject matter can actually be discussed. You could be a stay-at-home mom, you could be somebody that is not even educated in English. But if you understand the workings of insurance as a woman, you can actually bring that to your community and then make the community more resilient to losses, more resilient to financial disasters, so to speak. So I think, yes, we're talking about gender diversity within insurance, but that's also to improve the level of penetration we have in the country. Inclusion is also where it comes in to say that, look, it's not just about you having an insurance qualification or being a lawyer or being an engineer. You could be anything really. You could be a trader.
Okay.
And sell the value of insurance. And you mentioned health insurance, for example. Health is one of those areas that women are most vulnerable, particularly those who are within the middle to low income.
Okay.
So we need to bring that into
Well
the space.
noted.
And this is
Well noted, Adetola. We'll just have to leave the discussion here. At the end of the day, we'd like to see the festival hold, and then we have a stronger awareness at the end of the day. Thank you very much for your time on the Breakfast Show today, Adetola Adigbayi.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.